And today's guest is one of the best women on the planet. I don't care what you say, because that's not, you will never say that, but I'll say it for you. One of my favorite human beings, the most typical Persian on the planet, Dr. Sheila Nazarian.
Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being
aboard.
on the show.
Thanks for coming here.
So if you don't know Dr. Nazarian, I should say doctor, because that's the way to go. I was like, hey, Sheila, no, Dr. Nazarian.
She earned
is
that title.
a world-renowned plastic surgeon who performs a variety of plastic procedures.
We literally have over 100 treatments that we have in our office, surgical
Wow.
and non-surgical. It's crazy. I'm working on this week creating curriculum for my staff, and I tallied it up, and it's like 100.
I know that for a fact, because a lot of your clients are friends of mine, and they act like they're not, but they are. And I'll be like, oh, you're at your doctor's? Nah, you're at Dr. Sheila's. I know what you're doing right now, right? So it's a part of the whole thing, and we're going to talk a lot of things about plastic surgery, and of course, your life as a plastic surgeon, because a lot of people at home might want to get into this field and want to know what it's about, and about your love life while you're a plastic, because she is relationship goals, bruh. Like, she's relationship goals. Her Persian husband's so good looking, and he's a neurologist.
No, a neurosurgeon.
Oh, my bad.
He's a brain surgeon.
That's a couple that I would never want to compete with.
With my dad's more proud of them than every one of me and my
Between the
siblings
two
combined.
of them, they could change your face and your brain.
Yeah.
I know, we do it all.
They do it all. And she's hot, gender bias, a neutral hot.
Fire emoji.
Like, she's hot and has like 15 kids, bro. Like, it's crazy. Have you ever had plastic surgery done to you?
Yes, I have. So I actually broke my nose. Monica Young, shout out, from dance team at Harvard Westlake, actually kicked me in the face during my own. No.
Monica Young.
Jeez, son.
I still
It was an
remember because
accident.
it was so traumatic, and it was so crazy because it's broken. It's still broken to this day, even though I tried to get it fixed. But what happened is I had all this white fluid coming out of my nose, and I thought I was bleeding on stage. And I ran off. I was like, what is this like white fluid? Must be my sinuses. What would you think in high school? It's my
Well,
sinuses.
that's what happened to me once.
But listen, so I was in medical school, and we're studying brain, like when you get a brain injury or whatever, and you can actually have CSF fluid leak, which can lead to meningitis and death.
Oh, shit.
So
we
I
don't know
was
what
sitting-
any of that is, by the way. Like,
No, so there's a fluid called
Yeah.
CSF that surrounds your brain and sort of protects it. It's like padding. And when that it's not supposed to be exposed to air, it can get infected and you can get meningitis.
Oh.
So when I was sitting there in medical school and I'm studying this, I was like, oh my God, I could have died. Because up until that moment, I thought it was my sinuses that were leaking.
Shit. Did you go to the...
Wait.
I didn't even go to the doctor. I did nothing.
Hold on.
That's-
You had a broken nose and didn't go to the doctor?
No, because I was like, whatever. I didn't really realize it's kind of swollen. You know when you don't know? It was in high school. I was like in dance practice.
Well, the same exact. I was actually jumped by MS-13, but the same fluid came out of my nose. Till this day, I didn't know what it was. So you just told me. Am I dying?
No, you're not going to die now, but it's pretty dangerous.
Oh my
So.
gosh.
But
None
anyway.
of that's ever happened to me. You know why I think that's a great story? Is because a lot of Persian girls lie about getting their nose broke to get a nose job. You actually had your nose
It
broke.
actually
I
happened.
actually,
Didn't get a nose job
no lie,
until,
I
like,
had
later.
the perfect nose. No lie.
Like, you were so happy with
I
your
was
nose.
so happy with my
man.
nose. It was
Someone jinxed
it was. I know,
Someone
right? I
jinxed it.
cheshed myself.
Yeah, someone jinx
You got the
jinx
evil
your
eye
perfect
bracelet,
nose.
right?
I know. It was sad.
Yeah, you got to get the bracelet. George
Yeah,
got the
mine-
bracelet.
Oh my
Mine
God! Look, I
broke.
got this one.
Chesh.
Mine broke, and I had a
you
flat
have
tire
Hansa.
this morning.
Look at what happened.
I'm going to get
no,
one
that
immediately.
stuff's real.
Yeah, it's real, dude.
Yeah, you listen.
It's so
I don't-
real.
It's not real, but it's so real. Like, it's not real, but it's so
No,
real.
but you know that stuff that Persians burn?
yeah, of
S-fan?
course. S-fan.
So it was actually studied, and that white smoke is actually an antibacterial. So back in the day when somebody used to get sick, they would burn it.
yeah.
It's actually antibacterial,
I think a lot of these things are
based in something.
based in some type
Yeah.
of science that we're not even aware of sometimes. Like, you know what? I don't think knocking on wood means if I don't knock, I'm going to die. But I'm going to knock on wood. You know what I'm
You're a
can't
wood
hurt.
knocker?
I'm a wood knocker. I'm a wood knocker. Yes, I am. I knock on wood, bro. And I'm proud of it.
There you
Okay.
go.
So what made you want to be a plastic surgeon? Was it Monica Young kicking you in the nose?
So actually I was thinking between architecture and orthopedic surgery because we did wood shop and I was like the only girl in wood shop, but I love designing and building it. And then I realized architects don't actually get to build and it's just like a desk job. So I was like, okay, forget that. So I thought orthopedic surgery because I hammer nails, all that good stuff. So I started following around an orthopedic surgeon and it was super cookie cutter. There was like very minimal creativity involved. So one of my friends was like, hey, why don't you look at plastic surgery, and introduced me to one of the plastic surgeons they know. I shadowed him for a while, and that was it.
Super cool.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
That's not cool. Listen,
is
that's
cool.
the nerdiest story I've
No,
ever heard in my life.
Listen,
That is a nerd.
let me
I was
tell
going to be
you-
an architect, and then I was like, architects don't do anything, so now I'm a plastic surgeon. I'm perfect.
Let me
It's
tell you
true,
why
though.
it's cool. As a creator, I like to use my artistic side of my brain. And you're in a lot more profound of a field, and you're doing it. So that's cool to me.
Profound of a field, by profound, it means you're in a field that actually makes money. And here's the thing, like plastic surgeons make a certain amount of money. What's the average, like, I'm not trying to say how much you make per se, but what do plastic surgeons make?
I have no idea. And that's sort of been a challenge for me, because I don't have someone to be like, oh, this person's kind of doing what I'm doing. Let me ask them how much they're making. Nobody knows. With social media and all of this stuff, I'm sort of pioneering that. Like, I'm at a conference in August. They're giving me the social media, what do they call it? Authority Award, which is like, I only have 158,000 followers on Instagram. You have to have like 1 million followers.
I only have 158,000.
No, but compared to some of the people I
most
treat,
niggas have 32 followers, and 12 of them they
While
buy.
we're on numbers, I found the range on Google.
Perfect.
This is as of May 2018.
Mm-hmm.
The range is usually between $314,851.
that's really
That's a very
specific.
specific.
$467,310.
That's no longer a range. That's like, this is 2 plastic
Yeah.
surgeons, and this is how much they make.
Yeah.
Because that was 2.
Down to
That was
a
like
number.
IRS.
No,
really.
I think it varies a lot, but I think that's probably salaried plastic surgeons.
like people who don't own their own practice.
Right, like somebody who works for.
Yeah, because you hustle. You have your own practice. I've seen the billboards around town.
Yup.
You put out work. You have a lot of influencers that come to you.
I do.
And do you discount them for influencing?
It depends. It depends on how influential they are and how badly I want to work for them. There's certainly people that'll come that don't, have that many followers, but it's still somebody I want to work with.
Yeah.
I might discount them or do a trade. It just depends on the service. Usually we start something pretty small, like some sort of facial treatment that doesn't cost me a lot, but would help them. And then we sort of field and see, all right, how influential are they really? Because again, like you alluded to before, a lot of people buy followers or buy likes. Usually
Are
I
you trying
can
to
tell.
get a free plastic surgery? Is that
No,
why you're asking?
I'm trying to figure it out because I'm thinking plastic surgery is expensive, right? And but you see a lot of influencers get a lot of things, and I want to know if they really just get stuff for free. Like,
They do.
They
do. I mean, obviously, this is not something that I would even mention because you have to examine them. I mean, first and foremost, you're a doctor.
Sure.
So you have to bring them in, and that's why we're not allowed to auction off or raffle off a surgery. Nothing. We can raffle off Botox, but you can't raffle off a surgery.
You're like legally not allowed?
Yeah, like our board
wow.
forbids us
Your
to do
board
that.
forbids it?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
that's
it's
crazy.
you don't know if that person's even going to be a good candidate for surgery. So you can't raffle it off. Now you're bound to operate on them. No.
So when you say doctor, how much schooling did you go to?
33 years. I graduated when I was 33. So
Sheesh.
16 years after high school.
16 years after high school, so you were finished and were able to practice on your own.
Wow.
Right.
That's residency, fellowship.
Right.
And you went straight into it, no time lost.
I took 2 years off between general surgery and plastic surgery because I was having my second kid. And
Yo, this is why.
Superstar.
This is why
over
Monica
here.
Young kicked you in the face, okay? This is why Monica Young kicked you
poor
in the face.
Monica Young.
perfect.
I love you, Monica, if you're out there.
She's too perfect.
No, it's just
She is perfect.
I'm just driven.
She's a perfect, and that's the thing. It's like she's driven, which I applaud you because that's what made me like. Look, I know a lot of people, blah blah blah, bull. But I've always been a Sheila fan because I love hustle, and I see that she hustles. Like she's not just complacent. For some reason, there's like an overwhelming amount of female Persian doctors. Okay, I don't know why. Even in Iran, I'm dead serious.
No,
In
it's
Iran,
true.
it's like the number's so increasing that they had to do affirmative action to allow guys into medical school and
Wow.
into upper.
Wow.
I'm dead serious. Like into
In
college,
Iran?
into your master's program, and into medical school, they had to do affirmative action because it was like an overwhelming
Are
amount
they
of women.
just smarter than us?
Maybe they're just more driven in general. And that's another discussion for a different time. But what I see is there's a lot of Persian girls who are good looking and they're doctors. And people are like always surprised by that, right?
I think the culture, as you know, is very much like you're going to be this, or this. And the other thing is too is, if you're a doctor and you want to marry a doctor, more chances you're going to meet a doctor if you're a doctor.
That's real though.
It's real.
When you became a doctor, did you say, hey, I have to marry a doctor?
Not at all. In fact, I had the toughest time. This is another good story. So actually before meeting my own husband, I sort of decided in my 4th year of medical school, I should probably get married. Because I was in an Orthodox Jewish medical school and everybody already had like 5 kids. So I was like, oh my God, I'm behind. One of my friends actually, every time I'd walk by, he'd look at his watch and go, tick tock, tick tock. Like your eggs are melting away.
That's
so
a nice guy.
I literally
should have kicked him in the face. Monica Young, find him.
Exactly. So I actually decided like, I'm going to tell my family I'm ready to get married. And I would go out with everybody twice. I didn't care, if they were ugly, no chemistry. I would just give everybody a second chance. And then I would stay friends with them. I would be, really honest with them and say, I don't think there's chemistry here, but I think you're a great guy and I'd love to stay your friend.
It's like an evaluate. Did you give them an
no,
eval?
But they love that because I feel like so many girls were probably just being like, take me out for a free dinner. And so when I told them like, I'm not interested in you like that, but I think you're a cool dude. They were like, wow, thank you so much. And then they invite you to their parties and then you meet their friends. So I was just casting a super wide net. But I went out with 3 different doctors and I'm a medical student, right? And these people were like legit Finnish doctors that I got set up with. One of them was an ophthalmologist and he's like, if you want to be a dermatologist, we can keep dating. But if you want to be a surgeon, I can't handle it. Another one was a lawyer and he's like, I don't want our wedding invitations to say Mr. and Doctor.
Oof.
So it's real. And I think it's better now, but I remember crying to my dad and just being like, nobody wants to marry me. How am I going to find a guy? But then when I met my husband, I actually got introduced to him by another neurosurgeon. And the way he introduced him was, this guy never wants to get married, but you're in town for 3 more weeks and you'll have a good time. And I was like, all right, fine. And 3 months later, we were engaged.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So it's when you least expect it.
It is, but also I think it was that whole openness, giving everybody a chance. Like if I was looking to get married or you were looking to get married and somebody tells you this girl never wants to get married, you'd probably be like, then why should I go out with her? But again, just giving everybody a chance.
Giving everyone a chance.
Yeah.
That's actually a very interesting perspective. I feel, that's something George is really good at, is giving people a chance.
I give chances.
Because he believes in love. And he's not a fuckboy about it. So it's not like he's like, I'm giving you a chance, so I'll sleep with you and then move on.
No, I hold the cookies in the cookie jar.
He actually doesn't sleep with the girl, even if the girl wants to sleep with him.
Right.
He just hangs out and it's like, we should just hang out until I see if there's chemistry or not, and then makes a decision.
What I like about what you're saying with your process is the transparency and communication. Did you find that a lot of the men who you said, sorry, won't work out, handled rejection poorly?
You know what? It wasn't almost like a rejection. I think it was just, is there chemistry or is there not?
There's a guy right now who cried, who's listening like, Sheila, you are not.
Well, you've pointed at something that maybe is usually overlooked. Maybe we label things as rejections when it's simply just not a match, but it's not necessarily
It's not a goodbye. And it's not a goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think you're cool peoples. Let's hang out, but I just don't see myself, intimate with you or exclusive with you.
Wow. And I have to ask, what was it that your husband says you changed when a guy who said he's never going to get married? What was the moment where you saw the shift?
Let me see. I mean, he literally, I think he went home that night and told his sister, like, this is the girl I'm going to marry. So I think, when you go out with so many people and you really evaluate what it is that you want and you're old enough, I think that when you see what you like, you know it. And people used to tell me that all the time. They used to be like, when you meet the right one, it's so easy. It just, it just flows. And I was like, yeah, okay, go watch another like romantic comedy or something. But it really was like that. And I was never
he's good looking.
I know.
And he's good Listen.
I know.
Listen,
is he like Sam good looking?
No. He's even better looking.
Wow. What a catch.
He is, but we're like a match, and it's so funny. I remember
he's tall. Listen, okay, look, if you're not familiar with the Persian Jewish world, it's a whole unique universe on its own, right? So everyone kind of sticks to each other, like it's like a bubble, and we're all in this bubble, and the concept of it is this, right? That like 90% of the guys are short, bald, and ugly and hairy.
Truth.
Real.
Hashtag
I don't care.
truth.
I don't care. Actually, the only people who really aren't are like in your family, kind of. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, So then she met this doctor, tall, good looking. Even his salt and pepper hair looks like distinguished.
Why are you saying this with a Persian accent
Because
right now?
listen, you have no idea.
Tall, good
Yes, he is. He
He
is.
just turned so Persian.
Yo, because you're looking at him, you're like, wow. Hi. Does he have any like siblings or?
He does. He has a sister who looks like Brooke Shields.
Really?
Yeah, she's really
yeah.
pretty.
So I whatever I'm saying, but it's cool. I can be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I lucked out, man. What can I say? But
introduce
I
us.
had to go through all of those
even
heartbreaks.
if you had a brother at this point.
No, I mean I had to go through all those heartbreaks to really recognize that,
Sure.
and be ready for it.
Wow.
Sure. So we play a little game on the show called Either Or, where you pick
Okay.
either or, so we get a better foundation of who Sheila is.
Oh my God, I'm
as a
so
person.
scared.
This
Okay,
is
go.
it's simple. We start. Okay. So
Remember, I am a professional. Go ahead.
Okay.
I love the prefix.
But
And
we
I'm a
want-
mother.
Yeah, we want you to be just
Okay,
know,
good.
either or.
She's setting the
I'm just
standards
saying.
right now.
Okay. Headphones that are wired or cordless?
Oh my God, I'm married to a brain surgeon. They have to be wired. That
Hmm.
cordless stuff gives you cancer.
Oh.
Striking answer. Man in a bathrobe.
Just ruined a lot of us, by the way.
Man in a bathrobe or man in a tuxedo?
Tuxedo, all the way.
You were just hating, bro. You were just hating.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You were just hating. You're not wearing a tuxedo either.
I used to.
saying?
I have one.
Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty?
Oh my God. Cinderella, probably. Hardworking, put in the work.
Put in the work and
Yeah.
then dropped her slipper and was like a total thought, by the way. Total. Was like, oh, I met this guy once at a dance and
She did that on purpose.
was like, he's a prince. That was the only thing. Subconsciously, she did. Yeah, 100%.
You're going on a weekend trip, okay? Are you going to bring a duffel bag or a backpack on carry-on?
Oh my God, I need something that rolls.
Oh, so like a rolling duffel bag,
It needs like a rolling suitcase.
rolling suitcase.
Yeah, and I don't
Sorry, my options weren't adequate for
Yeah,
you,
because
doctor.
I don't want to carry it on my back. It's not good for you.
It's not good for you. It's not
Yeah.
good. She thinks of everything in a health way.
Yeah.
In a health way. Okay. Broken arm or broken leg?
Broken leg. Wow. I need my arms to operate. I don't even go skiing.
How logical are you? How logical?
I'm
a
pretty
person-
logical. It was so funny because you guys said, I didn't know what the show's premise was until you emailed me and you're like, this is for a woman to tell a man. I'm like, I am a man. No, but I'm in touch with my womanness more and more these days.
Are you?
Yes.
How did that come about?
I think I joke that I think I started living at the age of 34 because you're sort of forced into this survival mode to get through residency. It's kind of like being in the army. You're all in it together, but you have to behave a certain way in order not to be punished or, not to get a bad evaluation or people not to die. So I think when I finished 34, it took me a couple years to sort of realize, hey, I'm not living to please anybody else. I'm living to please myself. And so, dressing the way I want, you saw the change in my Instagram, it's sort of like living what I think is authentic and sort of how I want to present myself to the world.
What changed on Instagram for those of us who didn't know what changed?
Like before it was just sort of pictures of my kids or pictures of
She started
surgeries.
having fun on Instagram.
Yeah, now
She
it's
started
like
having fun.
fashion and lifestyle
Yes.
and sort of
Your fashion is dope. Like seriously
Thank you.
dope. That coat you're wearing is just impressive.
thanks. I had to
Yeah,
like-
well, she makes like $385,201 or $435,000.
But it's just the texture, the larger buttons.
She
can
It's
afford it.
swag. It's a lot of swag.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It was sold out here, so I had to get it from England. So
wow.
thank you.
So you have 2 kids?
3 kids.
3 kids.
Yeah.
Do you want them to be doctors?
You
2
know
parents
what?
are doctors.
I think you have to be passionate about whatever you do, as you know. So whatever it is that they want to do, I always tell them you can choose whatever you want. You just have to be the best at it. So I don't care if they want to be whatever, an artist. They just got to work really hard.
You want them to strive to be the best in the competitive way or perfecting the craft.
Perfecting the craft. Yeah, you're only competitive with yourself.
I like that. And that's an important thing to distinguish because too many of y'all out there, you're trying to scale your success with other people and it don't always work like that.
Exactly. And it's so sad for people that are successful that are still in that mindset rather than just sort of, doing things to give back to others or to better themselves, comparing this year to last year of their own life.
Right.
They're still sort of looking back to see like who's catching up, who's doing this. It's so sad.
It's interesting because some people are driven by competition while others use it in a destructive form almost,
Right.
to kind of navigate through life.
But they're destroying themselves. You know, they're destroying other people, but it's also a reflection on themselves.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%.
So you were discussing a thing about how there was a guy who didn't, basically there were guys who you were possibly going to date and they were like, I don't want you to be more successful than me.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And that because that was the path you were on.
Right. It was really, really sad. But I knew I was sort of getting into that world, but I didn't care. It was almost like becoming a surgeon and having a family was my rebellion, because so many people in our culture told me that was impossible. I remember being in college, and I was in New York for college.
That's real.
And I came back for a Shabbat dinner, and my aunt took me to a friend's house, and they were having like a big Shabbat dinner with like 50 people. And she introduced me to everybody. She's like, this is my niece, Sheila. She wants to be a plastic surgeon, you know, not that quickly, but that. And one of the women was like, why would you do that? As soon as you have kids, you're going to have to quit. You know?
That's a real thing. That is a real thing. I was actually at a wedding where the bride they were both doctors, and the bride wanted to go into surgery. She wanted to become a surgeon, which is more, you know, it's more time consuming. And the husband was basically like, oh, you know, I don't think we're both just doctors. And he was like a dermatologist, which is like, barely a doctor.
No,
But
they're
No,
doctors.
don't say that. They're doctors.
Hey, we have doctors in my family. You're an
Do you think that way about
ophthalmologist?
chiropractors too?
Yes.
You know that
They're not even doctors.
They go through more hours of training than the average doctor.
That's not true.
Well, I saw that at the chart at my chiropractor.
Exactly.
That's
On a
biased.
poster.
Yeah, that's real. They're not even doctors. All right. Well, anyway,
No, they're doctors of chiropractic medicine.
exactly. Is that board certified?
Well, I mean, I don't know if they have a board. I'm sure they do.
They have their.
They
own
have a board.
Yeah.
Sure. Listen, this is like when you're racist. Some of my good friends are chiropractors. You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
Toronto's making it seem like they don't even have a board. They just have a Facebook group or something. Come on.
No.
They kind of do. They kind of do. But the insecurities that you felt from guys, like, where
Right.
do you think that comes from?
You know, I don't blame them, honestly, to a certain point. I mean, my family suffered with me training. You know, my kids, I was never any recitals. I never picked them up. Some kid told my kid in kindergarten, you don't have a mom, you just have a nanny.
Oh my god.
You know, I mean, it's real. The sacrifice.
Do you feel like your kids resent you?
No, not at all. Not now. They're proud of me. They brag. My son goes to his friends and goes, how many Instagram followers does your mom have?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's real.
Or, you know, my daughter's like, I want to be a plastic surgeon just like you so we
That's
can operate
beautiful.
together. No, they're proud of me, but they suffered. You know, one time I went to my kids, I was in residency still in my scrubs. I think I was post-call, and I was running to not miss a recital of hers, and she was just sitting in the corner with her head down. And I'm like, what's going on, Layla? Why are you sad? And she goes, I thought nobody was going to come again. So, you know, I tried to, yeah.
Gosh, that's heartbreaking.
I know, it's like stabbing your heart, but they're just saying that
You know
what they
what?
feel.
Honestly, I have to say this, like, as a parent, like, my parents really showed me a lot of love and were like always supportive and everything. I wish they missed some stuff and were plastic surgeons. Like, honestly, I could have lived that life. Like, Bubba, you had to show up. If I got another hug, nigga, you know what I'm saying?
No, but you know, and it is stressful. Like my life now is stressful, and I do demand a lot from my kids because I need a certain level of cooperation in order for the household to run. I'm not, you know, mom CEO. I'm kind of mom CEO, plastic surgeon. We have, you know, 2 other businesses running at the same time and a wife to a neurosurgeon. So I have like 20
You
things.
guys are both gone. Well, his schedule's a little more set because
Right.
neurosurgery is a set schedule. They're not like, let's randomly operate on this guy's brain
Right.
at 11 p.m.
Right. No, I mean, he does get to set his schedule somewhat because he is in private practice, but definitely I think with the Persianness of it all, it's still, I'm the first line with
course.
the kids, and then he's sort of back up. So if I'm away at a conference speaking, like I spoke 18 times last year, poor guy. So if I'm not in town, you know, then it sort of does fall on him. And we have family to help out as well. But, you know, I think in our culture, the mother is always, as it should be, honestly. I don't think men have the capability of mothering as
Wow,
well.
you know what? That's actually very true. Let's be honest, right?
I think we have to be honest about that. I mean, I think men can do it when push comes to shove, but I think a mom is just something different.
Can a mother do fathering?
No. I don't think a mother can do fathering either. I mean, I think there could be strong role models, strong male role models, but we're different, and we can sort of substitute for each other as best we can. But I don't think a mom can ever be a dad, and I don't think a dad could ever be a mom.
I feel like, look, I know there's a lot of times where there is a single parent household, and that's a reality.
Yep.
But I feel like in general, the 2-parent household, regardless of how it works out, and I'm talking about a positive 2-parent.
I was just going to say a healthy 2-parent household
is always a positive thing. There's 2 people. Like, it's just reinforcement in any aspect of it.
Yeah, and I always say, like, there's no way I could have accomplished what I have done single, right? I couldn't have had the kids.
Wow.
I needed the support of my husband financially in order to be able to.
I also needed the sperm. The sperm part.
The sperm.
Yeah, that's
let's not sleep on the sperm. But he supported the family while I went out and did my thing, right? If I was, having to put food on the table and have 3 kids, I wouldn't have been able to put the hours into training like I did. There's just no way, unless my mom, or dad was living with me, and it would have been impossible. Who would have paid a nanny? It wouldn't have worked.
Well, how did that work with like him being a doctor as well? Do you feel like that encouraged you? Like, because he understood, because George and I come into a situation where if we're with someone, because they're not in our field, they don't understand what it is that we're doing. To them, everything looks like it's just a party, or everything's fun. You're on a radio show. Oh, you just went out and did a show. Or girls always be like, can I come to your show? And it's like, I'm going to work. I know it doesn't look like the way you work, but it is work.
Right.
So with you being a doctor, I'm sure that plays a part too. If I was just, some business administrator, I wouldn't understand a lot of things that go through.
I think with being a female surgeon, it's interesting because all the other female plastic surgeons that I know who are married to doctors, they either married a brain surgeon or a cardiothoracic surgeon who are higher on the totem pole.
Wow.
Step up. Yeah, actually, Samine is going through this. My really good friend Samine, she's a cardiothoracic surgeon. She's at Rush doing her fellowship, and she's just having such a hard time dating.
It's so hard. It's hard in general. I mean, I hear my patients complaining about dating in LA, much less being a heart surgeon, like in the Persian community, with all of these things like the woman should cook, the woman, I had a woman come to me an older lady come to me at a birthday party, a kid's birthday party 6 months ago. And she's like, if you work and your husband works, who cooks for your children? And I'm like, I don't know. They starve. Like Cheerios.
That's so real. That's hilarious.
So, I mean, it is, there still is a little bit of stigma. So whenever I speak and I give talks, I always say, we need to raise our sons to not be threatened by powerful women, to support powerful women so that we can raise powerful girls. We really have to re-educate the men in our society.
Yo, we're all just in awe right now.
I'm learning, bro.
I'm learning.
I'm learning, and I'm realizing more about myself. And speaking openly and honestly, there have been times where I was intimidated by someone's success to where I didn't even feel worthy of dating them. It's a real thing that goes through our minds as men.
I'm the opposite of that. I love women. Like, yo, I want to be a stay-at-home anything. Like, yo, I will look. Okay.
See, the problem is though, like, I feel like a lot of the working moms, they don't want to stay at home anything either. They want somebody who's like alongside them, a partner, but is supportive. There's so many challenges, not going to lie about that. My husband calls me every day. He's like, what time are you going to get home today? All right, I'm going to get home. Or like yesterday he called me, he's at 6 p.m. He's like, I have one more surgery. Are you going to make it home? I'm like, yeah, I'm home.
Wow.
So it's like a daily balance and juggling act. But, when you are passionate about what you do and you're helping other people and you're showing your kids how to be by example, you just make it work because you have to.
Does the nanny, you alluded to, so you do have a nanny?
I used to. Yeah.
Does a nanny in some form act? I think it's a role that is underestimated because the nanny in a way has to act as an ambassador, if you may, for the parents when they're not around, especially this day and age. We see so many kids going to school and then after school, and they're spending a minimal time of their day with their parents, and you're wondering, what are they being taught when the parents
So that's
around?
actually why we got rid of the whole nanny situation. I'm sure there's amazing nannies out there, but I just feel like it depends on how much time they're also spending with the kids. Kids are not easy. If I had to spend all day with them, I'd probably go nuts.
Yeah.
So much less this nanny that's doing it, 5 days a week. So what we did actually is in the morning, I set my schedule so that everything starts at 9. So either I see patients at 9, I'll do surgery at 9, which is kind of weird for surgeons. Usually we start operating at 7 a.m. But who says you have to start at 7 a.m.? So I'll get the kids ready for school, drop them off at school. They're at school during the day. And then I have a personal assistant who will pick them up, take them to and she's a college student, so she can teach them how to read for my little one, teach, multiplication strategies to my older ones. But I think it's worth it to have somebody who can really do their homework with them.
Definitely.
Not just, keep them alive until you get home.
Right.
Which I'm sure is not the situation with all nannies. It's just been, no matter how good I think the nanny is, when they leave, I always find out something that was happening that wasn't healthy. So I just decided it wasn't right for us. And we're going to do...
Did you ever have like a Mexican nanny? Because I know like there's times where kids have Mexican nannies and the kid doesn't speak English because the Mexican nanny doesn't speak English.
No,
I always think that's amazing.
No, I speak fluently in Spanish. I think that's very useful.
Sure, of course.
So I think we've had, all sorts of...
She also speaks fluent Spanish. I just want to throw that out there.
French too?
No.
Farsi,
Spanish,
English.
Yep.
What do you do, George?
I speak English and I don't even speak another language, and look at my eyebrows. It looks like I speak another language, and I don't.
Sure does.
Your eyebrows definitely say bilingual. Like if nothing else, you have bilingual eyebrows.
Imagine being a doorman for some years and people walking up and speaking to you in languages you've never heard before, and you're like, do you want to come inside? I had nothing to say.
When we are... Okay, let's get to the heart of plastic surgery, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that want to hear about like, why is there such a taboo on plastic surgery?
I think we're all supposed to be natural, and I was born this way, but I think it's changing with social media now. People are just sort of being very true to what they've done, especially the millennials. I love having a millennial patient. They're all about me recording their surgeries, their procedures, whereas the older patients, which is fine, and we always ask and need specific written permission, they're less likely to actually share what they've done.
And they're very secretive.
They're very secretive. Like if you hear a celebrity say, I went to the spa or I did a cleanse, that usually means something plastic surgery.
Whoa.
Spa or cleanse means plastic surgery.
Spa or cleanse.
Because you'll see girls, like I know a couple girls who clearly have plastic surgery done and have, like, for example, not real breasts, right? And then they'll be like, no, they're real. I'm like,
here's a question I'm dying to ask.
Okay, tell me.
Teron said we have these friends. One of them did the surgery a long time ago. And we feel as if, of course we haven't said this, or maybe Teron has said it to her directly. We feel as if she kind of manipulated her face too soon. So now it doesn't look like she grew into it. Is there an age?
Who are you talking about, Sina?
Is there an age or time that's
is it Sina,
too
though?
early?
Can you just give me a head nod?
And what I'm saying even is it true at all?
There is definitely, like, for noses, we don't like to do them, before the age of 16. Ideally later is better because it is still changing. For the breasts too, definitely you want to wait until you're fully developed. What if you went and got augmentation?
Have an 8-year-old with this big ass big breasts.
But there's other things, that can be debilitating to the person. They're getting teased, for example, the ears that stick out. Things like that, I think should be fixed early on. You don't want to give somebody a complex for the rest of their life when it's something like, for example, most of the ear pinning that I learned was on kids before they started kindergarten.
Ear pinning? What is ear pinning?
People that their ears stick out.
Yeah,
you should know. You see this and you're like, she has weird ears.
No, I've never said that.
You've definitely said that.
I've never said that.
You've definitely said that.
That was a Zelda cartoon. It wasn't a person.
You've definitely said that about.
But yes, there's certain
at least 3 guys that I can think of, and
guys?
2 girls. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, look at his ears. Why are they weird?
Gosh, he just makes things up.
It's not.
But things around the eyes, forehead, chin, cheeks especially, we see them get pushed up sometimes.
Right.
Can that happen too soon, or it doesn't matter? Or is it my imagination?
What age are you thinking too soon?
I'm thinking too soon in like very early 20s.
No, I think that's a thing, because those things aren't permanent. So they go away. Like I started when I was 28 with the fillers and the Botox. And it's a skinny girl problem where your face just looks so gaunt that you look like you're sick. Okay. So without the fillers in my face, I look
What are
gaunt.
fillers?
So it's hyaluronic acid, which is a naturally occurring substance in the body, and it's synthetically made by different companies to have different properties. Like there's certain ones that are stretchy, so when you smile, the filler will stretch with you. There's other ones that mimic bone. So for example, in the cheeks or in the chin, we would use a thicker filler. So there's all these different types of filler that you could use to sort of optimize someone's
Here's
look.
the most important question. Does it hurt?
I am the biggest wuss
Yeah.
in the entire world. My entire office makes fun of me. So we have this incredible numbing cream that literally you barely feel the injection. Do you feel something? Yes, but it's mostly pressure. To the point where I can now inject myself in the mirror, being the biggest wuss ever. I just leave the numbing cream on for, 15, 30 minutes. And then
What
I'm
about
able
like
to do it
nose
myself.
or breasts or ass? What about ass? Can we talk about
Yeah.
ass?
Peach emoji.
Yo,
Yeah. What do you want to know?
like what is in there?
So this is actually a great topic because we can do a little public service announcement right now. But the things that are safe to put in there are your own fat, which is called the Brazilian butt lift. So basically we liposuction fat from some other place where you don't want it. And we could put it into the breasts. We could put it into the face. We could
That
put it
sounds
into
like the best to me. The best.
Yeah,
option.
that's my favorite.
But that's only if you have
The fat. So let's say you don't have the fat, then you have a couple options. There's a filler called Sculptra, which was actually FDA approved for AIDS patients' faces back in the 90s because they get super gaunt because of the medication. So what it does is we inject it, and over 3 months, your body builds its own collagen in the areas where it was injected. And this is a very safe, long-lasting injectable. So for somebody who doesn't have the fat, you just walk in, you get it injected, and you walk right out. The other option is butt implants, which is very similar to silicone breast implants, but it's a solid implant. I don't like to do it as much. The complication rate with infections and such is pretty high.
I feel like if you sat on a silicone, I just feel like it would pop. Like,
No, it's actually solid. So the implants aren't solid. They're a silicone shell, and then they're filled with silicone liquid. This is actually like a silicone hard thing.
Why are the breasts not solid and the ass is solid?
Because you're sitting on your
pressure.
butt. Yeah, no, you're sitting on your butt, so you want something solid. You don't want something that's going to sort of expand and shrink. It can pop. But with breasts, you're trying to mimic the natural feel of the breast, which is much softer than the natural feel of the butt. And then the other thing that I want to mention, which is a public service announcement, especially in LA and Miami, do not let anyone inject silicone into your butt. We've had so many patients in the county system where I trained, we had to cut off their legs because the silicone gets infected. These people go to places where they buy Home Depot silicone or mineral
God.
oil.
I've heard about people like that.
And they get it injected in a hotel room by someone.
There were like these two guys who were doing it
Right.
in LA.
And
then did they have to get amputated?
you can get sores where they're just oozing out all the time. The one patient we had that we had to amputate at the county, she had gotten it done 20 years ago. So the silicone that's loose can travel down with gravity. So it was into her ankles at that point. It got infected. So her entire leg was then infected, which is different from the silicone implant that goes into the butt, which is a solid silicone. It stays exactly where you put it.
I see.
These are just like silicone liquid, usually from Home Depot, that is injected into the butt in a hotel room or mini mall. So don't do that. Public service announcement. I don't know. It's been a lot of Latinas have been doing it. They're very trusting. They're the best patients, but very, very trusting. And the lady who I treated at county actually said, "Oh yeah, la doctora." And I was like, "That wasn't a doctor." And she goes, "But she was wearing a white coat." I'm like, "You can buy that at the costume store."
Oh my God.
So you really have to look and see who the person is that's injecting you and what it is that they're injecting to them.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very important for people to know. Now, there was a video that went viral. I don't know if you saw it. It was a butt implant, and the implant
twisted.
rotated.
Right.
Is that a real thing?
It can be a real thing if the pocket is made too big. So the pocket where the implant is put in has to be really carefully dissected so it fits exactly the shape of the implant. If the pocket's too big, the implant can turn and flip.
Okay, and last question, I promise. Can I donate my fat to someone?
So you actually can't because it'll be rejected. But now what they're doing is they're actually taking liposuction fat, certain companies that are licensed to do this, and they will actually radiate it so it gets rid of all the living tissue and creates a fat scaffold. So you can inject it and then your body will sort of fill in the live fat. Right now, it's so expensive that it's not being used that commonly.
I see.
But if they come up with a way to make it cheaper, that could possibly take the place of having to do surgery to get fat.
Interesting. I could sell my fat to run.
So you're telling me nose jobs and boob jobs don't hurt?
No, I didn't. Who said that? When did I say that?
What doesn't hurt? What hurts a lot?
Tummy tucks hurt. Liposuction of the love handles hurts.
Even while you're getting it or afterwards?
No, afterwards. What else? Breast augmentation hurts, but maybe for like a few days. It's totally tolerable. Those are probably the highest.
Nose?
Nose can either hurt if they break the bone, or it cannot hurt if they don't break the bone. So
and what if someone messed up your surgery? Like you went to someone for some reason. I see people with uneven nostrils and things like that. Then what?
I mean, you can get revision surgery, but that stuff can happen. And especially with the nose, the nose is like one of the most unpredictable things because you're dealing with cartilage, and cartilage can warp, meaning it can change shape. It can twist and warp. So nose is very unpredictable.
Is that what happened with Michael Jackson? We saw.
No, he had like 50 surgeries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He over surgery.
He wanted to keep reducing.
Yeah.
Or was it?
Yeah.
It reminds me of a haircut. You know, when like the barber messes up a line, it's like harder to go back and blend it in.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. It's you don't get a second chance.
And how do you feel like when it comes to advising people aren't getting plastic surgery? Do you talk to them like, hey, are you doing this for you, or are you doing this because society made you do it? Or
we actually have on my intake forms, when you will walk in for the first time, you fill out, is somebody else making you do this? Is somebody forcing you to do this? And I also get a feel for the patients, and I'm 5 years out now, and I've gotten a really good feel of who to operate on and who to say no to. Because you want to, when you go to a plastic surgeon's office, the patient thinks they're interviewing the plastic surgeon. They need to know the plastic surgeon, a good plastic surgeon, is also interviewing you. So we're sort of trying to answer the question in our mind, is this person capable of happiness? Because some people are incapable of happiness. No matter how good you make them look, it's not going to make them happy inside. So that's sort of what I'm trying to answer when I meet somebody new. Is this person have realistic expectations? Can I make them happy?
So it's almost somewhat of a psychiatric
evaluation. Really is. It really is.
Do you just look at people and go, I can fix you? Because I do that all the time.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yo, I do that. Yo, I'll be like, I can fix you.
You know what I was really curious about? The doctor who performed lipo on Kanye. Because if I was looking at Kanye, I'd just be like, yo, do a diet and work out. Do you think that was a little extreme?
I didn't even know Kanye did that. I missed the boat. I'm so focused in my own little world.
He announced it on, she's dealing with bigger celebs, but he announced it on TMZ that he had lipo. And I was shocked. And it made me wonder at what point, we all aspire, we see the images in all the advertisements, and we aspire to have this perfect body.
Yeah, that's a good point. When do we just work out? Like, nigga, go to a gym.
No, you know what? I think these people are working out. And when you get to 40, it's really hard. That testosterone level drops in men. Yeah. And you'll see, you're making fun of it now, but you might be that person being like, you know what? I just need a little help.
I'm already experiencing it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
No, I don't look down on that. I mean, and to tell people, just go work out, it becomes a lot harder. And the other thing too is I've had patients that, come in and they're fitness models and stuff like that. And they know they can make themselves look a certain way if they starve themselves. But they're like, I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to starve myself anymore. I just need a little help to maintain. And I think that's totally fine. So I wouldn't hate on people like that. The person that walks in who's 300 pounds and wants lipo to lose weight, that's not right. But to do lipo to sort of perfect an area where it's really just difficult and you've been working hard at it, I think that's totally fine.
Because it's minimal. It's not too much. So the less you're taking out, the safer it is?
Well, I mean, it depends again on the surgery. But I think, again, we're getting down to the point where what are the reasons why somebody's doing this? Are they healthy reasons? Or is this kind of like a cop-out? Is it a shortcut? Or is it unhealthy reasons? Are they doing it for somebody else? Are they doing it to make themselves happy? Nothing's going to make you happy with plastic surgery if you are incapable of happiness. You have to be in a certain mindset in order to be able to accept the results.
It makes total sense.
Like I had another patient too who had been morbidly obese her entire life. She had the weight loss surgery and we started taking off all the skin and she was super little underneath that. But when she looked in the mirror, she still saw that she was fat. So mentally and this is very common. So you need to catch up with what you see in the mirror almost mentally.
Yeah, because I think I look good and then
You know, Tehran,
I'm not really feeling that when I.
this is a true story.
out.
The power of the mind is what you're alluding to. You know, I was at Target. I was on the phone with Tehran. He's telling me a story about how he saw this interview where Suge Knight may have pricked Eazy-E with a needle. And I met this guy and he shook my hand. He was a shady guy. And then I felt this sharp object. I swore it was a needle for the next 2 days. And I don't think it was. But it's very interesting when you put your mind, or you have something in your mind,
Right.
it manipulates reality.
Totally true too.
Do you feel like guys are way more reluctant to get plastic surgery?
No, I think that's changing. Actually, men is one of the fastest growing areas in plastic surgery now. I would say I'm probably 20% male, which is great because I hate going to like Palm Springs and you see this woman with a 6-pack running around after 4 kids and the man is sitting there with a pot belly and you're like, who had the babies? Her or you?
So what
The men need to
guys
keep
getting?
up.
What are guys getting?
You know, they're getting facial treatments, they're getting Botox and fillers, they're getting tons of lipo.
Do we need Botox and fillers? I feel like now
you
we need
guys are
Botox and
young.
fillers.
So here's the thing. I want you to do a live evaluation. So I am Middle Eastern, meaning my eyes are more encaved
Right.
than
Yeah.
regular people. So I've been noticing I have bags under my eyes. I've
Right.
tried everything.
You haven't tried filler. So you need filler. So
I
I
need
have it under
filler.
my eyes. I've been
Okay.
injecting filler under my eyes for 10 years now.
Now,
Mine are way worse than yours.
Okay, how often do you need to do filler? How long does it last?
And
So-
how much does it cost?
Yeah, sure. So the filler lasts about a year, but I would say 6 months, half of it's gone.
Okay.
So right now, if you came in and we did 1 or 2 syringes of filler, which would be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000,
Okay.
you would probably want 1 more syringe at 6 months, just to
All right.
sort of keep yourself topped off all the time, rather than waiting in the entire year for all of it to be gone and then doing 2 more syringes.
I see.
So,
So it's an annual thing.
it's
Biannual
you know, I
at
would say
this point.
biannual is
Biannual?
probably
Every 6 months?
yeah,
Biannual.
about every 6 months, and then you look like you had a lot of rest.
When you first get it, is it really super noticeable that you got it?
No. It's everything I do is very natural looking. So if somebody came in and they wanted like triple D breasts, I would be like, you know what, I'm not the doctor for you. So my entire brand is for people who don't want anybody to know they've done anything. You just want to sort of refresh yourself. Like I never get a patient come in with a picture of a celebrity ever.
Wow.
Ever. They all walk in, they're like, I want to look like me. I just want to look refreshed.
The
That's
best
great.
me.
The best
It,
me.
it helps with confidence. And
It really does.
this is something my friend drew to my attention. His sisters got plastic surgery. And I was like, at first, this was years ago. I wasn't, so I was like, well, why did they do that? You know, I've seen them. They're good looking. He said, he put it in perspective. He said, well, what's the difference between putting on makeup every day or getting one surgery? You're both altering the way you look.
Right. It's true.
And I think that helps remove the stigma of surgery. It's different means to the same end.
Right.
One of them is more viable. And what is in the filler? Is
Again,
it Botox?
It's hyaluronic acid. So Botox
Hyaluronic
is
acid.
basically, it's from honey.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can't give honey to kids less than 1 because they get botulism.
Whoa.
So everybody thinks it's snake poison.
Really?
And it's
I've been
not.
feeding all these little kids. Like, oh,
So can I
honey.
just like inject honey
No,
into
but let me tell you, Botox is just a paralyzer. It's a temporary paralyzer of muscle. It doesn't give you volume. So you don't want to paralyze the muscles around your eyes.
Yeah.
So we're not going to inject Botox into your tear
Yeah.
trough. But filler, just think of it as volume. It doesn't paralyze your muscles. It's volume. So they're completely different, but that's a great point because I still have patients coming in being like, can we just inject some Botox into my lips? I'm like, unless you don't want to be able to drink out of a straw, no.
Wow. So that may have been what happened to one of our friends. A lot of Botox and restricts the movement.
Yeah, Botox restricts the movement.
So, okay, looking at George, what else does George need?
He
So we
needs
know he needs
nothing.
filler under the eyes.
You know what? I don't play that game with my patients. I love it when they walk in and they're like,
Well,
tell
let's
me
play
what
that
I
game with
need.
George. Let's play that
But
game with
basically,
George.
what I ask is, sort of what's bothering you.
Yeah, of
and I would
course.
say, the tear troughs is very indented in all Middle Eastern people, Indian, Armenian, Persian, Arab. And it's just that our genetics. And I love it when people are like, I've used every cream out there. It's not a cream. You just need
Yeah, I
that
keep
bone
spending
bulked
all
up.
this money. If I
Stop
added
it.
up all the money I've spent on creams, I could have gotten 6 biannual injections.
Does he need his ears pinned?
No.
Why would you say that? Why
I feel like his ears need to be pinned.
Can
You
we
don't feel like-
evaluate Tehran?
Yo,
Can we
let's-
turn the
let's
camera
stick
to
George.
Tehran?
We're doing with George. George is so George, like I would go, okay, if I was gonna fix George, okay.
Okay. Tell us how you would fix
All right,
George.
so
Tehran.
first of all, we just get rid of his face, right? We just gotta get rid of his face. Just you gotta sculpt him, make him look like Chris Hemsworth, right? And then I'm like, okay, all right. Can we do that? Can you make him look like Chris Hemsworth?
No, we wouldn't want to. He's handsome.
Thank you very much,
You're
doctor.
welcome.
That's a professional
Thank you.
opinion.
It
too.
is a professional.
Yeah,
That's
professional.
a professional opinion.
Yeah.
Do you do spirit fingers?
Spear fingers.
Yes, the vibes. I got doctor
Does he need
approval.
Botox in his fingers? I feel like he needs Botox in his
No,
fingers.
what's wrong with
Look at his wrinkly
fingers?
hands.
No.
What the hell? Look at-
Ron's giving everyone a complex today.
No, yeah, that's a.
I'm putting my shades
Do you
back on.
feel like people act weird towards you when they know you're a plastic surgeon because they always do ask you these kind of questions and it's annoying?
No, I think what is annoying is if I'm in like temple and somebody in the pew ahead of me is like, "Doctor, what can I do about this mole?" You know, I'm like, "We're here to pray." You know, and I try not to be mean about it, but sometimes I can't help myself. Or if I'm at a kid's birthday and somebody's like, "Can you just come into the bathroom? I want to show you something." No, I'm at my kid.
They were
I'm
trying
at a
to sexually
kid's
harass you,
birthday.
Sheila. They were
You
trying
know,
to-
so what's some of my
Harvey Weinstein was
friends,
trying
my
to harass.
female plastic surgeon friends say is, "You know what? I'm not wearing my doctor hat right now, but if you want, you can make an appointment and see me in my office."
Sure.
And so that's sort of
So what you should do is just have a little like card holder and just say, "Ask me in my office." Boom.
exactly. That's
Drop
sort
the
of-
Do you
mic.
do
Yeah.
consultations? How's that work?
Yeah, so people, you know, call the office, make an appointment, and they come in.
Do guys ever come and get body shaping?
Yeah.
So what's that? And the reason I bring that up is because remember that episode of Entourage where the drama wanted ankles, or he wanted calves.
You want calves.
Yeah, he wanted calves.
Yeah.
I think he had the ankles.
So basically what we do for that is you can, again, do implants, which I'm not that big of a fan of, or we can lipo some fat and put it in the area. So what I do is I have people flex and then draw around where their own natural muscle is and sort of inject into the muscle and just above the muscle. And it gives the illusion of having a bigger muscle there.
Do you feel like you have a certain amount of coldness because you're able to cut people up and do stuff like this?
You know, I think it
like
does.
you're a heartless.
No, I'm not heartless, but there definitely is some pathology for someone, you know, believing that, you know, I'm so good that people should let me cut them.
Sure, the God complex that doctors have.
It's not a God
especially
complex.
orthopedic surgeons.
No.
We all know.
I mean, I think some people do have God complex. For me,
love you,
it's
Sam,
sort of,
but we know.
you know, I like to work with my hands and I've been doing arts and crafts my whole life. And so for me, it's sort of like a natural thing. But sometimes I'll be in the operating room and I have like an out of body experience and be like, why? Like, who am I? Like, how am I in here? Somebody is paying me to put them to sleep, trusting me to do what I think is best and waking them up and saying, ta-da.
Wow.
So it's
That was
kind
deep.
of crazy.
That
It
was
is.
super deep. No one's ever given me that much trust in my life.
I know it's kind of insane. The job is insane.
An insane job for an insane person, right?
True that.
Because you got to be crazy to want to do this. I feel
I
like.
think there is some sort
a
of
bit of it.
a bit of crazy. I agree.
A bit of it. And I'm sure I know for a fact a lot of your patients are very thankful for the work you do. And I'm not saying that because, hey, I like you as a person, but people actually comment.
Yeah.
And you're known as being one of the best,
Thank
especially
you.
for being so young. And it's also you're able to relate to people.
I think that goes so far.
And there aren't so many female plastic surgeons.
True.
So it's almost as if you know better than.
Well, I don't know if I know better than, but I think certainly sometimes patients report that, you know, I feel more comfortable, you know, especially for the vaginal rejuvenation procedures or for a mommy makeover. Like, you're a mom, I'm a mom. I feel like I can talk to you. That I've heard.
I feel more comfortable with a male doctor when I get my physical
Right.
than with a lady doctor.
I would just feel comfortable with a doctor. I don't insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, I haven't been a doctor in like 58 years, bro. I've been dead for 27 years. I've been dead. And before I know you have to go, we have to go, blah, blah, blah show. So let's say I'm a girl, right? Do you advocate like, hey, this is going to work out. You're going to be fine. I'm a girl. I can't find a date. I'm trying to be successful.
If somebody came and said, you know, I can't find a date, I want plastic surgery, I'd probably, that's a
No,
red
no, not
flag.
plastic surgery. I mean, that's for life. Like,
Oh, for life.
yeah, because
Okay,
you're
tell me.
successful. You're so super successful. Like
Right.
there are a lot of girls, like I was saying, like people we know personally that are in a position where they're doctors, lawyers in just a higher field, a professional field, and they
Yeah.
have a very hard time finding someone.
Ooh, it's so hard. You know, I had a very hard time finding someone too. I think you just have to be true to yourself and sort of true to your values and just hope that the right guy comes along. I think settling is just a recipe for disaster, personally. I've seen it happen all the time. I'm sure you guys have as well. I think you just have to be true to yourself and really settle down with a guy that is worthy of you and that you feel good about and that is a partner.
I just had a great business idea, a dating app for doctors where it's like a high fee to join. So
they have that stuff where it's like super successful.
They concierge doctor stuff.
It's not for doctors, but it's just like high worth individuals, I think. Yeah.
And for rich people, we'll never be there, but
Yes.
we will one day come to your office and get consultations for George. We'll have to stop by. I feel like
Poor
there are things we can
George.
fix George.
I just feel like he really wants these surgeries, but I'm his human experiment.
Actually, you know what?
He's projecting.
There's no
He's projecting.
surgery. There's no surgery that I would get because the only things, if I had to change me, right? If I had to change me, and first of all, there's nothing I can't change. Like if I just wanted to hit the gym, basically, it's all that would. I would just be 2 inches taller. Like I'm 6'2". I think the perfect height is 6'4". Like I like height, right?
Thank you. I'm perfect. Thank you, Teron.
That's where acceptance comes in.
Well, I like because I just like being tall because I play basketball. Like just 6'4" is like just the. But other than that, I really like me.
Good.
There's something I see that I'd change, but I'm not going to mention
me?
it. Yeah, I'm not going to mention it.
You can't get plastic surgery on attitude. So look, where can people find you if you want to be found?
So on Instagram, Dr. Sheila Nazarian. So if you put in DRSH, it'll pop right up. And then on Facebook and YouTube, Nazarian Plastic Surgery and NazarianPlasticSurgery.com.
That's what's up. And thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you.
We appreciate you giving us a lot of insight. I feel like I'm smarter right now. I know more. I am more. Especially that little speech you gave about raising our sons better.
Yep.
That's real right there. That's real. Thank you so much for
Thank
being on the
you.
show. Everyone, make sure we'll be back next week. Please check us out on Twitter at
Imperfect G Show on Twitter, Instagram. If you want to email us a topic, imperfecgshow@gmail.com.
We won't listen.
We will listen and we will read your email because a lot of your topics have made it to the show.
Nice.
I'm not listening to nothing. And if you don't know who I am Teron, literally at I am Teron all across the board. It's IAMTEHRAN. Find me on social media, tweet, Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Make sure to check me out. And I'm with...
It's GK. I have a title just like the doctor, but it's a Mr. Mr. George Corey Teron. Spell the last name
That's
for everyone, please.
KHOURI. And we are
Imperfect
Gentlemen. Remember, nobody's perfect. But us. We'll see you guys next week. Hey, Martin on the boards.